All right, let's talk about something huge, executive burnout. But maybe not in the way you're used to thinking about it. What if that feeling, that crushing exhaustion so many leaders feel, what if it has almost nothing to do with just being busy? Yeah, let's dig into what's really going on.
So you know that feeling, right? That pressure that just keeps building, that exhaustion that kind of creeps up on you. And hey, if you're a leader, you've probably already tried to figure it out. You think you know exactly what the problem is. You've got your list of usual suspects all ready to go.
And I'm willing to bet your list looks something like this, right? It's the back-to-back meetings, the endless river of decisions you have to make, the constant firefighting, and just, a workload that feels completely insane. These are the things we always point to. But here's the thing. What if we're blaming the wrong bad guys?
Because when you really look at it, the thing that actually breaks a CEO, that truly takes a leader out, it's not any of that stuff. Nope, it's something way more subtle. And honestly, a lot more dangerous.
And that leads us straight into the biggest misunderstanding of them all, the one that gets almost everyone. We all think burnout is just a workload problem.
You know the myth, right? It goes like this. Oh, you're burned out. You're just working too hard. The answer is simple. Work less. Take a vacation, get some rest, and boom, you'll be back, good as new. I mean, it sounds right, doesn't it? But it's just not the whole story, not even close. So, okay, if it isn't about being busy, then what is it about? Well, the real enemy here, the thing that's actually causing all this pain, it's a feeling. It's the feeling of being stuck.
Just think about that word for a second. Stuck. Not overwhelmed, not busy, stuck. It's a totally different thing. This isn't about how much work is on your plate. It's about feeling like you're making zero progress.
And this is such a critical difference. Look, being busy can actually be amazing, right? When you're busy with a purpose, when you feel that forward momentum, that's energizing. You're making things happen. But stuck? Stuck is the worst. It's all the effort, all the energy, with absolutely zero momentum. It's like you're sprinting on a hamster wheel. You're getting exhausted, but you haven't moved an inch. That's the feeling that just destroys you.
All right, so what does this stuck thing actually look like? How do you know if this is you? Because it doesn't just show up one morning and say, hey, I'm here. No, it's sneaky. It creeps in. So let's talk about the warning signs.
So here are the big ones. See if any of these hit home. You're putting in way more effort, but getting way less momentum. You're doing more stuff, more activity, but it's having less of an impact. Maybe the performance is still there on paper, but that feeling of meaning, it's just gone. Or maybe you look up one day and realize your job has turned into something you don't even recognize, something you never wanted. Or maybe, just maybe, the company itself has just outgrown the way you used to lead it.
Sound familiar at all? I know, it's a tough thing to admit. But just seeing the pattern, that's everything. It's the first step.
Okay, so if you're nodding along here feeling a little stuck, your first thought is probably, I need a vacation, right? Totally normal. But here's the problem. For this issue, that's actually the wrong fix.
And here's why. Think about it. Being stuck isn't an energy problem. It's a structural problem. A vacation, yeah, it'll recharge your batteries. But when you get back, what happens? You're plugging those fully charged batteries right back into the exact same broken system. The things that made you feel stuck in the first place, they didn't go on vacation. They're sitting right there on your desk waiting for you. So this is the big takeaway. The antidote to being stuck isn't rest. It's redesign. You don't need a break from your job. You need a change in your job. You have to fix the structure. And let me tell you, the cost of just ignoring this, of staying silent, it's massive. It just builds and builds over time, like interest on a debt you can't pay. And eventually, it hits a breaking point. There's a story that makes this crystal clear.
Picture this, an airport in Fort Lauderdale. It's supposed to be a happy time. The family was just out of graduation. But instead of celebrating, it turned into a moment of total collapse.
And you have to understand, that meltdown, it wasn't about having a single bad day. No way. That was years of being stuck, finally boiling over. Years of that pressure building under the surface until it just erupted. That's how high the stakes are here. So, the big question is, how do you avoid that? How do you stop that from happening to you? The answer is simple, but not easy. You have to renegotiate before you break. You have to be intentional about redesigning your role.
Okay, so how do you actually start? Well, it's a pretty straightforward process. First, you just ask. Be brutally honest with yourself. Has my job changed as the company has changed?
Or am I stuck in a role that doesn't exist anymore? Second, you have to name it. Get really specific. Make 2 columns. What parts of my job give me energy and what parts just suck the life out of me? Getting that clarity is key for step 3, which is to converse. And this is the big one. You have to actually talk about it with your board, a coach, a partner, someone. Lay it out. And from there, you move to the final step, redesign. Look, this isn't about whining. It's a strategic conversation about shaping your role for the company you have today, not the one you had years ago.
And really, that conversation, that's the whole game. It might be the single most important conversation you can have for your own career survival. And the crazy part? It's the one most leaders will do anything to avoid.
Because we think having that conversation means we're failing, that it's a sign of weakness. But it's the exact opposite. It shows incredible self-awareness. It's a leadership move. Honestly, it's the thing that separates the leaders who last from the ones who, eventually just crash.
So, I'll just leave you with this question. If any of this felt a little too real, if you're feeling like your role just isn't working anymore, like you're spinning your wheels, the only question left is, are you brave enough to finally say it out loud?